Do you have any pre-show rituals? Things that you do right before you get up to that mic?
Running late. Just kidding. No, I don't. In the Phillies Funniest contest, when I would do that, like
Mm-hmm.
in a competition setting, I
Mm-hmm.
don't do this every show. I would run my set and time it out like a million times beforehand
Mm-hmm.
and like pace. And like the first year I made it to the finals, I think was 2014.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I remember watching a tape of me from the year before, or like from 6 months before, and I noticed I kept looking at the ground the whole time,
Mm-hmm.
in between jokes. I've been doing it this whole interview. I'm sorry,
No, you haven't. No, you haven't.
but what I did to like kind of train myself to look at the crowd
Mm-hmm.
is I wrote everybody's name who I was competing against on an index card,
Yeah.
and I taped them around the room because like
Yeah.
I was also intimidated by all the comics I was performing with because I was new. They'd been established. I find
Mm-hmm.
everybody funnier than me.
Mm-hmm.
So I was literally just going around the room practicing my set a million times while just going around and just reading the cards
Mm-hmm.
like of the people's names while I'm telling the jokes and I'm timing it. So like I'm accomplishing three things. It's like I'm facing my fears of like who's intimidating me as I'm going around the room with that
Yeah.
kind of thing. I'm remembering who I'm going against.
Mm-hmm.
I'm timing my set to make sure it's like as punctual as possible. And also it's like I've somehow like muscle memory trained my brain to be like my head to be like an oscillating fan now when I'm telling jokes and I'm looking up. So look, it's giving off so much more confidence than I actually have. But it's just me looking at the audience,
Okay.
or me just remembering what I did before, not actually looking at them.
I like it.
Not really. No. Um, no, I'm not. I don't shadow box or I don't like feverishly rewrite my set list. I just get to the show. I look at the crowd. I observe them. I listen to the crowd. I don't listen to the comic. Typically, I listen to what the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
If anybody's chatty, who's talking, where are they chatty?
Mm-hmm.
But no, no ritual. No,
Okay.
not really.
Um, I used to like smoke and drink a lot all the time before. Yeah, I ain't into that no more. I mean, I'm not really. I'm not dependent on that, but I really like to. I like to listen to R&B music.
Okay.
I do.
Any
I
particular
like to
like
drive.
same track? Is it the same track before each show, or can it be any R&B?
And I like Erica Badu,
Yeah.
Lauryn Hill. I like to be like mellowed out. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, like I'm kind of quiet when
Yeah.
I'm around.
Mhm.
You know, I'm usually just mellowed out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like,
All right.
Well, my mother always says break a leg for the number of shows I have in a night via text or phone
Oh,
call.
that's sweet.
And my boyfriend says to break my titties. And that is either text or phone call. And so those aren't really rituals. But other than no, pee and eye drops in that because I have allergies and I'm a vapor and all this stuff. And I feel like I'll come out of a bathroom after putting eye drops in because I have allergies and then wiping my nose that people think my pre-show ritual is a line of cocaine, but it's not. But yeah.
All right.
No, I mean just like just watch the crowd,
Okay.
like study them, so I could make fun of one of them right off the bat, just so they could feel involved and like that more into the show.
Okay.
No, I don't have any deep breathing exercises or anything. I like being left alone for a couple minutes.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Pace. It used to be when I was a cigarette smoker, I just like go outside, smoke cigarettes, a couple, while the show starts, and then or before I go on, I get some time by myself, and I still like that. Whether in a green room or outside, and just think for a few minutes by myself. I don't want to be around anybody.
Okay.
And there's like times all I want to do is talk to comics before the show. Like you get to a club, I can't be talking to everybody and friends are at the show, this or that. It's just too distracting and draining. I'm like, the only people I want to talk to before a show are comics.
Yeah.
We're about to do this. We're in this together. We can talk about jokes. We can talk about what's about to happen. That's what I like. I think about comedy and do it. But besides that, I just a couple minutes, like, oh, what's the new line? Run it in my head.
Yeah.
What do I need? What are the 2 or 3 things I really need to get in the set in just a couple minutes? That's all I need. But I don't have any.
Okay.
I like to have a drink, sometimes 2, but no more than 2, or else I get a little sloppy. Yeah. If 3 drinks, I'm like, I'm going to be hilarious, but I won't remember what I said. It won't be useful. I like to take deep breaths. I'm a big believer in calming down your central nervous system with breaths. So I take big breaths through my nose, out my mouth. I'll count them out. And then sometimes I'll stretch my calves, like I'll come up on my toes and stretch my calves. But that's about it. I do like to listen to music, especially if it's a bit like if I'm about to do a taping and I know like you have to say this joke one time, do it right. I like to listen to music and sing along with it, like get my mouth comfortable speaking, shouting, whatever. So yeah.
Okay. The moments where you're doing the deep breathing and the music and not the music and the calf stretches are those private moments outside? I'm thinking about the show that I did with you. You were pretty much in the audience because there's no green room where we do it. Did you walk outside to do that, or do you do it right at the table where you're? No,
I just did it. I did it right at the table.
Okay.
I just stood up and did it right before I was about to go up. Honestly, at those shows, I didn't feel as nervous as like a bigger city show,
I get it,
especially because I was doing such a long set, so it feels like there's a lot more room to mess up.
Okay. Fair enough.
Shot in the beer.
Really?
No. Sometimes at an open mic. At an open mic, I'll probably have a shot in the beer, not at a show. I usually drink after the show.
That is something totally this side of the state. I never even people. I mean, I never heard people taking shots in beer when where I grew up. That's something like when I went to the grape room, they're like, whatever that fucking shot is that they take in that PBR. I'm like, what is happening over here in Philadelphia?
This is citywide. Citywide. It's a beautiful thing. No, pre-show ritual. Yeah, I just usually just kind of look at actually one of my pre-show rituals is I find someone in another comic in the audience that is probably like afraid of me, and I just kind of like attack them.
I thought you were gonna be nice.
On stage. I just go up to them and just start bullying them, and they know. Most people know, they're like, oh, this is Brandon just being an asshole because he's getting hyped for the stage. But I usually I find someone weak and I just go after them for a couple seconds before I go on stage. Then I'm ready to tackle the audience.
This explains so many of our interactions. Okay.
Yeah, I think usually either before I leave the house or on the subway to a show, I will listen to the last that I did. A lot of times I'll write out bits and try to add in a certain line here or there. Then I'll write a set list for the night, and as part of what I just said, I'll write it because writing it down I think is a way of remembering it. So some muscle memory is engaged. And then, I'll usually either run through the set out loud or the order of it in my head and, kind of maybe watch the comic before me for a few minutes. And, yeah, I think that's the gist of it.
Okay.